Recent results haven't been great. There's been a lot of change at the back, a lot of mixing and matching. When on paper, you look at Christensen against Zaha and whatnot. That looks like a little bit of a mismatch, given that you expect Crystal Palace to sit and play on the break, and Chelsea try to move the ball around. Now that said, Chelsea, there is an evident quality gap here, so you still expect Chelsea to win, but this is not a game you want to take lightly, and I think it's a big game for Lampard as well, because I think some of the honeymoon is sort of starting to wear off a little bit, because he's got a big squad and it's really difficult to keep everybody happy.
Shaka, Christian Pulisic will be back in that squad for Chelsea on the weekend. He had such an impact when he returned after the stoppage last season. What kind of boost do you think Chelsea can expect from him?
Well, it depends on what kind of how big a role he play. I don't expect him to start, but certainly we've seen Pulisic and the impact that he's had, his pace, how direct he is in terms of running at defenders. That's huge for a Chelsea side that have added a lot in the summer. Still maybe trying to bed in some of those and get the best performances. At the same time, trying to get rid of some rather sloppy individual mistakes. Now, you don't cater to the individual mistakes, especially coming from somebody like Thiago Silva, and you don't expect him to make two of those in quick succession. So right now it's just about Chelsea trying to find their identity, trying to find the correct positions for everybody, and build some kind of a structure around their squad. I think that this is a good game for Chelsea in that you're at home, you come up against a good Crystal Palace team, you slowly improving. I think a good performance and result here does more than I think this ticket maybe suggests of Chelsea at home to Crystal Palace. There's a lot on the line for Chelsea here, and I think if they get it right, it pays off in a big way psychologically.
Shaka, last week you were the one person that said they should wait a little bit, Chelsea, on Edouard Mendy, giving him the start. Now the time, though?
Yeah, absolutely. Featured in the cup game for them. I thought it was a decent debut, as I mentioned right after. Dealt with just about everything that came to him, as well as you'd expect. I certainly remember one cross where he came in flat, but I don't read too much into that. And given the uncertainty around Kepa, given the fact that, as I've said before, I don't see Willy Caballero as being any more than a number 2 at best, you threw Mendy in at the deep end. And now is the perfect time to do that.
Elsewhere on Saturday, Manchester City and Leeds, we got Pep versus Bielsa. Jules, a neutral's dream and probably a good spot to take the over.
Oh, massively. And if you heard Pep Guardiola today in his press conference, he was so in love with Marcelo Bielsa, saying how much he admires him as a manager, but as a man, that how much of an inspiration he was for him, what a true manager he was in the sense that he always wanted his teams to play the same way, always entertaining, attacking football. It was really great. I thought what Guardiola had to say about Bielsa. You're really looking forward to it, and also the fact that Leeds had a whole week to prepare for that game, to put things in place, maybe defensively, for example, to try to counter City when City had to play in midweek again in the League Cup. After the Leicester humiliation as well at home, there's so much that have happened really since that Leicester game until the game on Saturday, and I think it's fantastic. It's going to be a hell of a spectacle, and I think it's hard to predict what's going to happen, because yes, you could see a lot of goals being scored. I think we're pretty safe to say that, but who will have the final word is fascinating.
Jules, Gab, Shaka, thank you very much. Here's a look at the rest of the Premier League's weekend schedule for you. Saturday, another key matchup. Keep an eye on Everton hosting Brighton, and another couple big games on Sunday. Liverpool taking on Aston Villa, and Arsenal and Sheffield United.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube, and for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app, and for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.